got to turn the volume off. And then once you turn the volume off, you got to put a camera on. So you put a camera on, then you come over here and you take this and you turn it off. And I miraculously fill the screen. See? I'm here. Capable of Boogie with the Bull, Monday morning caffeine. If you go to my profile on Facebook, you will see a link. I think if you go to my channel, the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, you will also see a link in the live chat. That will bring you on this morning, or at least bring you here, and we can decide whether or not you come on. We called this Let's Get This Week Started because where I am today is Charlie Kirk has passed away. Some people liked Charlie Kirk. Some people didn't like Charlie Kirk. So if you didn't like Charlie Kirk before, and don't like Charlie Kirk after, keep it to yourself. Okay? I don't really want to hear it. If you liked Charlie Kirk before and you still like Charlie Kirk and you respect Turning Point, yeah, I want to hear from you. I want to know what's going on. I want to hear from the 32,000 new Turning Point chapters. I want to hear from the 2 million young Democrats that are now young Republicans. That's a lot of people. That could sway an election. Honestly, sway the next midterm election. It could sway the midterm election after that. You know what? It's time Republicans feel like we deserve respect. We can worship people, not worship, worship's a bad word to use. We can honor people that we like and not have to listen to Democrats say, no, you can't honor that person. That person was a terrible person. If you have that view, just stay away from me. I don't really care. Life is too short. And in one other matter, someone noticed that someone was not a friend of mine this morning, and that was corrected, and you're welcome back. And it could have happened for one of a bazillion reasons, because I lived a very complicated life. It could have been in my cleaning up my profile from 4,960 friends to whatever it is now, and whatever I will remove. You either got in the mess of the removees and got removed, or for whatever reason was going through my head, you got removed. It could possibly be that maybe you're a part of something else and I had to feel like I could move on. But, everybody is always welcome to join me on a Boogie with the Bull broadcast. Randy Rhodes is not with me this morning. He didn't feel well, so he is at home resting, and hopefully we'll be back on the next Boogie with the Bull. The next Boogie with the Bull will be tomorrow night, Tuesday at 7 p.m., followed by Wednesday morning at 10 a.m., followed by Thursday night at 7 p.m., followed by 10 a.m. Friday morning, and maybe, I don't know yet, possibly 10 a.m. Saturday morning. If I'm home and I can do it, yes. If I'm not home and I can't do it, you might see me live, but it might not be a Boogie with the Bull. Donna and our daughter-in-law have a craft show, I believe, this weekend. And if I am taking part, then you'll see me from there. Or you won't. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. What I did want to find out from people is what is new and exciting and happening in your life this week. What are you doing? You going to work? You going on vacation? You sitting around like me and just reading everything and trying to take everything in and deciding how it affects you or whether it affects you, or listening to people everywhere, every way, you know, that could be a good thing for you. For those of you who don't know, I am Boogie WT Bull, and I am Dave Goldman with no space on Threads and on Instagram. And if you don't like Dave Goldman, then talk to Boogie WT Bull. And if you don't like Boogie WT Bull, then talk to Dave Goldman. And if you don't like Dave Goldman and Boogie WT Bull, again, keep it to yourself. I don't want to hear it. I find a lot of things to talk about on the broadcast, and I say how I feel. Right now, one of my favorite things is to go off on fake Elon Musks who promise me anywhere from $30,000 to $1 million and a Tesla because of the wonderful things I do. Well, if you put $1 million in my hands and showed up with a brand new Tesla that I could auction off for whatever I could get for it, it would go in the account to operate a foundation that would actually help people. Not, hi, if you do what I tell you to do, you'll be fooled into thinking I'm going to help you with my message. I don't want to hear that. Life is too short. So what I could do to help people who really deserve the help, really need the help, I would do. If there was $1 million available, yeah, I could help you pay your rent maybe once and show you some ways to be able to do it yourself. And maybe you'll get rich, maybe you won't, but you'll be able to pay your rent, and I'll help you maybe again. But life is too short. Republicans hate Democrats. Democrats hate Republicans. I don't hate anybody. Okay? You're welcome to come on and be yourself. I may raise my voice a little when I talk to you. It won't be too loud. But, you deserve the respect that I deserve. So you're more than welcome to come on to a broadcast, regardless of your political ideology or any ideology you have. If you like Buicks and I like Cadillacs, or you like Cadillacs and I like a particular Buick, let's talk cars one day. I don't know anything about being a mechanic. I do know that I worked as a general manager and I had to deal with cars that had to be repaired. So I would get in the car wherever it was and bring it and get it repaired. Then when I went on to my own business, if it had to be taken off and repaired, I would wait for the tow truck, or I would take it and drop it and get it repaired and give you the car that I was in so that you could do it. Or I would take a day off and put you in one of my two cars so that you could go and get paid. If I thought you were the right person to send out on the job, because not everybody was the right person to send out on the job. But anyway, that brings up Jimmy Kimmel and ABC. Stop telling me that he got fired because it was unfair of Disney and ABC to fire him. Okay? He got fired because he works for Jimmy Kimmel Live. He does not own Jimmy Kimmel Live. I guess ABC and Disney do. And he said something on an episode that I guess ABC and Disney didn't agree with, so they immediately took him off. That is their privilege. I'm sure it's in his contract that it is in his best interest to not do that while he is working on their time. And if you want to bring up, Roseanne was at home and on Percocet, or Ambien or whatever and said something on her time and ABC let her go. If there's a morals clause and they could do that, I'm sure they did that. If there isn't, I'm sure Roseanne or Jimmy Kimmel or anyone else who falls into the same situation could legally go after the employer. But to me, why do you want to do that? Because if you said something that ABC and Disney didn't like, I'm sure you can find somebody to employ you who likes what you said and would want you to keep doing it. I work for me. You know, I guess you could say I own Boogie with the Bull. I can say whatever I want, whenever I want, wherever I want, because I'm an American and the Constitution tells me that I have the right to do that. But you need to understand and appreciate that there is a right place and a wrong place to say something. You can't go into a movie theater and yell fire, although people do. Hopefully they get arrested for it. You can't go on TV and say something that the people who own the broadcast don't like, or else you can get fired from it. I mean, I equate Jimmy Kimmel to he said something on ABC that they didn't like, so they suspended him. And I guess Nexstar, who owns like 200 TV stations in the United States, was not going to air it. So ABC would have lost a lot of money. And they would have gone on and lived it, I guess, and made more money to make up for the money they lost. But Nexstar is in a buy situation with Tenga, however you want to say it, Tenga. And if they have a side, it could risk the Nexstar sale. So things get messy there. If Comcast was looking around at Nexstar before all of this, they might have pulled out. NBC might have pulled out. You know, whoever, and the whole world would have come crashing down because nobody knows what anybody else was going to do. I do not think this is a situation that you need to get the FCC involved, because a broadcaster decided to say how they felt when they were doing their job, and their contract might not allow them to do that. If he was out in the parking lot, he could have said anything he wanted to. Just like Colin Kaepernick. He started the whole, go down on a knee because I'm upset about something. The owners of the football team had a right to say, hey, you don't take a knee while you're in our uniform, and you don't do it on the grounds of a stadium that we're going to play football in, because we pay you to play football, not to take a knee. Not that you can go take a knee when you're in your own clothes anywhere you want to, but we don't pay you to do it on national TV in front of a bunch of people watching live and a bunch of people watching TV, which I'm sure is why he took the knee as he did, so that everybody would see it. But you know what? You got to think. Everybody has to think. And if you censor it from TV for someone to do this, or you censor it from radio, or you censor it from the internet, you're not giving people a freedom of speech. True freedom of speech, like I said, revolves around the fact that you have to be responsible for whatever you said. And if you said something wrong, or the gross people think you said something wrong, they have an option. The option is turn the knob right, turn the knob left, change to another channel, don't watch TV at all, watch something else. That's okay. And to me, that's the consequence you face. Like Judge Judy said that day, if your TV show loses money, you get fired. They were going to lose, or did lose, a lot of money, so he got fired. But he'll go someplace else. He'll go to another network, or this time around he'll do a podcast that he owns that will be on a social media network that wants him to be there because that's the kind of person that he is. Great. It doesn't prove anything. It doesn't prove anything. Charlie Kirk didn't deserve the disrespect that people were giving him after he was killed, during his funeral, or during his memorial. He didn't deserve it. You wouldn't deserve it if it happened to you, and you'd be upset. I'd be upset. Even if you're not a Republican, I'd be upset. Okay? And I would know enough to stay away or say something else on a Boogie with the Bull that was on that day, or word it differently. Joe Blow died today, and a lot of people are paying their respects and dedication, and you should know about that. You should know about that when any of us die. Because we're only here for a brief time. We're only here to do a brief thing. And I don't believe Charlie decided to sacrifice himself so that Turning Point would grow. You do it or you don't. That's what it's all about. There's a place to do it and a place not to do it. And you have to respect the other people. They're together, like I said, paying respect and homage, or whatever you want to call it, to someone they loved and they appreciated. Or do me a favor, just don't kill anybody on either side. That way we won't have to go through this again. And, when I was sitting here thinking about what I was going to talk about today, because I called the broadcast a new beginning, let's get this week started, I kind of thought that maybe I wouldn't do any of this today. I just would lay off it for today. But I really can't, because the world still seems fixated on the fact that he died, and the other people seem fixated on the fact that he died and their leader is not going to be there anymore. I don't think Charlie wanted you to feel that way. I really don't. I don't think he wanted you to feel that way. I think he wanted you to pick up the pieces of your shattered world, if it was, and go on. It's a turning point for everybody. If you didn't like him before, it's time for you to listen to someone who does. And as I always say, break bread, have a good time, agree to what you can agree to right away, because that way you don't have to work on that. And agree on what you don't agree on, and you can work on that right away. Because really, I think what you see is that the two of you aren't really that far off. Sometimes it's just semantical word games over what you don't agree with. And if you change the words and you apply yourselves differently, you'll find out maybe you agree on it. We all want what is best for our state, actually, our city, our county, our state, the United States, the world. We all want what is best for it. We don't always agree on what is best for it, but maybe we can agree on it, but we can go about it separate ways. We can coexist. That's what I think Charlie was saying. You know, come to one of my shows, take a microphone, be silly, be stupid if that's what you want to be for 2 or 3 minutes of the 5 minutes he might give you, and then hit him up with something serious. And if it really isn't serious, he's going to tell you it's not serious. But at least you got your time. He gave you the respect you deserved. Because a lot of people don't do that. You know, you can be sitting in the stadium listening to somebody you don't agree with, and they're not even going to give you a microphone because they don't want to hear that. That wasn't Charlie. He wanted to know why you didn't agree with it. He wanted to work with it so that maybe you would agree with him to the basics and then go on. Like I said, break bread, agree to what you agree with, agree to what you disagree with, and work on the stuff you agree with. Because you can't fix it overnight. There are too many people involved in this whole thing, and I don't even understand it. And I read this morning that Tyler doesn't want to tell anybody why. Because he's afraid that they will take it out on his family. I don't know whether or not to believe that or not. Because I want to know why he did it. And I'm not going to go after his family. Maybe I'm the only one who feels that way. I'm not going to go after his family. And I don't want to hear from his family why he did it. Okay? I really don't. I want to hear why he did it. That's all. Just tell me why you did it. Tell me what you thought you were going to get out of it. Because you got arrested, you got thrown in prison, you're probably getting beaten up every other day, or you're in a prison cell 23 hours and minutes a day and allowed to come out for minutes a day and then thrown back in. Is that really the way you want to live? I can't say you won't get anything different. You know, I've said before, the death penalty in any case really doesn't work. Because somebody shot somebody before Tyler shot Charlie. So if you kill Tyler, the next person is still going to do a shooting somewhere. Okay, kill him. The next person is still going to do a shooting. Kill him or her. Sometimes I just don't know why people do the things they do. Over on YouTube last night, I just happened to be flipping around and watching whatever seemed to interest me. But one thing that came up was a woman is on trial because she put her 2 young children in an oven and killed them. And I'm not angry at what she did, but I don't understand what she did. Okay? Hitler was angry at a lot of people and put them in ovens because he thought that was the only way to hide the fact that he was mad at all these people. That lady wasn't Hitler. I want to know from her what told her that was the thing to do, because I don't understand it. I was brought up in life 63 years ago. My mother used to put me in my playpen every morning. And I used to just be a blob. And then one day I lifted my head, and my mother said to my father, he's going to be okay. Because if I hadn't have done that, I was looking at being institutionalized. And that probably would have been worse than me lifting my head and dealing with what I have in life. The minimal muscular incoordination. I got this, I got that. I get told by doctors I got dementia. I get told by other people you don't got anything. You know, I got balance problems, and people tell me you got Parkinson's and it's going to get worse. And other people tell me, no, you just got to exercise more. So I don't know. I don't care. I got something wrong and I deal with it every morning. Doesn't stop me from coming on and doing my broadcast, and it won't. Because when I'm in that chair, because I need to be in that chair 24/7, if I can talk, I'm still going to do my broadcast, or think I could do my broadcast. You know, I joke around a lot that what will probably happen is when I'm in the old folks' home getting cared for, I'll probably have my old Chromebook, but I won't have the power supply. And I'll sit there and still think I'm doing my broadcasts. I hope I'm still doing my broadcast. Not that I think I am. I hope I am. And I hope you get something out of it, where you click on the link and tell me if it works, and you're allowed to come on. Because I spent a shitload of time trying to figure out what was wrong with the link. Okay, I sent the link the way they said to send the link. So if I did that right, somebody can click the link, and hopefully it brings you here to join me. But if not, let me know, and I'll try to figure it out again. I know that for some strange reason, I have to jump through hoops and go to my own Facebook and go to my own messenger in order to be able to send it to people. So, one guy here doing the best I can do, because I like doing what I do. Didn't ask you to like it. Didn't ask you not to like it. Just, I like doing what I do. And when I can't do it any longer, that's when I'll stop. Today we're on my profile on Facebook, and we're on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. And sometime later today, it might be shared to other social media networks, but I can't promise you that they will approve it. I can't promise you if I send it to a bunch of groups right now that they'll approve it. So, anybody knows, it's on my profile, and it's there. If you decide to take it, you decide to take it. If you don't, you don't. If you watch it, all I ask is that you share it. If you honestly don't like it, give it a thumbs down and comment why you didn't like it. And then share it to people so they know that you didn't like it. Because maybe they'll watch it and they won't like it too. And they'll comment too. And I'll understand what it is they don't like. And I'll try to change it if I can. Or give it a thumbs up. Share it to all your friends. Put it in all your groups that you can. On Facebook, take and share it everywhere else you can. Go to YouTube to do that. If you're going to share it off of Facebook, I prefer that you take it and share it off of YouTube. Because if anyone's going to make money for that, I prefer Google. Google does, and not Meta. But that's just a long time of being upset at Meta for what they do and not having any recourse, or winning 50 cents in a $6 billion lawsuit, and understanding that They don't care. And they probably don't. You know, I'm still here. They haven't taken me away, so they must not care about when I bash them, because they probably assume that nobody's watching, or they make it so that nobody can watch. I spent 2 days. I could share to my profile, but I couldn't share to my own groups. You know, they tell me that it was a copyrighted music violation, so they muted it in 14 countries. But there's no complaint from anybody telling me that it was a copyright violation, which means that either they were happy, they were okay with what I did or what I allowed, and Facebook is just playing games. Because if Facebook just playing games, I can deal with that. You know, they restrict me the amount of time I can share, and then tell me, "Oh, you got to give somebody else a turn." The system was designed for billions and billions and billions and billions of people around the world to get to know other billions and billions of people around the world. So everybody has a turn. And I'm the kind of guy, too, that also, if you tell me that you need a turn, I'll stop and give you a turn. I do that in the broadcast world all the time. If you tell me that you're going to be on a day and time that I'm on, usually I step aside so that you get a turn. I may not do that anymore. Why? Because other people don't do it for me when I'm on. You know, they want to be on at the same time that I'm on because I'm evidently getting good results. That's what I look for. You know, right now, the 10 a.m. broadcasts, hey, some people watch, some people don't. Michael Anthony is watching this morning, or watched part of it. Said Super Dave. Yeah, Super Dave. I'm just trying to be me this morning. And I am 3 minutes over my 30 minutes. So I'm going to thank you for watching and just tell you, open your mind and think. Before you do something, open your mind and think. And make sure you really want to do it. Because if you don't do it. Again, apologize to that one individual that got caught up in Dave's delete-a-thon and got unfriended. But I thought I lost a bunch of friends anyway, so I unfriended them. You know, if you want to be my friend, send me a friend request. If we have anything in common, I'll be your friend. But if we don't have anything in common, then I'm wasting my time. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up, and because I want to wrap it up. And that's the end of this Boogie with the Bull. And like I said earlier, we're on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. Adjust yourself accordingly, because I like to drink coffee, and I like to drink it with my friends. For my friends that don't like to drink their coffee in the morning, I'm on at 7 o'clock Eastern, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So adjust yourself accordingly. And if you have a message, regardless of whether or not you're a Republican or a Democrat or a red shirt wearer or not, let me know. If I can do a live broadcast with you, I will. But I'm under limited time right now because our bedroom is also a studio. And it's easier to do it when my wife isn't here. It doesn't interfere with her world. So you got to work with me. And I make the offer all the time. nobody has told me that they want to come on and come on at a certain time. Although some people have, and it's just a time that I can't do. One of these days I'll have a studio and I'll be able to come on whenever there is a need to come on. But for right now, in this world, in this living situation, I don't. And United Healthcare is on the